Will Vladimir Guerrero Jr. be a lifelong Blue Jay? Is Ross Stripling as good as gone? And the Edwin Diaz contract, what does that mean for the reliever market in the offseason? We'll break that down and much more on Jay's Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside co-host Nick Gosse. We want to thank you once again for helping us hit 1K subscribers. Felt like it was just yesterday, and now we look at our subscriber count today, and we're at 1.2. So you guys have just been doing a phenomenal job. Make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps us out a ton, and it's free. So what's better than Daily J's content? I don't know.
It's been unreal. Support's been great. Just a quick reminder, 87.6% of you guys who are watching aren't subbed. You guys have been doing an unbelievable job. That number's been going down. It used to be in the 90s, so just make sure if you're watching the video now and you aren't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. As again, like Peter said, we're on the road to 2K, and we're hitting that faster than we can ever imagine. And one thing I'm going to quick, mention, if you guys are a fan of all things, baseball, not just the Blue Jays, I'm launching a Dugout Digest channel. We launched our first video about an hour or so ago. Link will be in the description and pinned comment. So if you're interested in everything baseball, not just Blue Jays, check that out. The Jays daily content won't stop though. This doesn't affect that at all, but just check it out if you do love, just baseball content. But let's get into the video because we have tons to get into today. And we'll begin with Vladdy calls out Yankees. Now, this kind of took the, internet Twitterverse by storm the other day. I'll pop up the screenshot here. I like to kill the Yankees. I would not sign with the Yankees, not even dead. This was on a, I believe, an interview with another reporter or whatever it was. And what are your, I guess, initial thoughts on that before we delve into what it could mean for the Blue Jays?
Well, I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know if that was like twisted around or maybe maneuvered around to make the Yankees look bad or to make it seem like a shot from Vladdy to the Yankees. I don't know. I don't know what he said, but if that is what he said, and it's definitely an encouraging sign, as we've been talking about a Vladimir Guerrero extension, which means if he hates the Yankees, that means he's locked into the Toronto Blue Jays, and he's all in on this team, all in on this city, and you love to see that. So I love the competitive nature. You see a little bit too much friendliness around the league now. Not enough guys that really want to be ruthless and have that killer mentality. So I love Vladdy saying what he said.
Yeah, I agree. I'll pop it one more time. I like to kill the Yankees part was, it was quite funny. It's just a funny thing to say for Vladdy. And again, yeah, we don't speak Spanish, but it seems like that was what the translation was. And yeah, hopefully that means that obviously we know he won't be signing with the Yankees, but maybe that means he'll be, signing with the Blue Jays for long term there soon. Obviously, we want to lock him up long term. We've had conversations about that. We've had videos about that. But I saw a few Yankees fans on Twitter, saying stuff like, the Jays talk an awful lot for, a team that hasn't proved anything. And, I mean, yeah, fair enough. They can have, that's a fair take. But, we're still young. Vladdy's only, however old he is, 23, 24. He's super young. And I kind of liked it out of him. Show some fire. Hopefully he'll come back next year and bounce back after his disappointing-ish year for his standards. But Yankees fans, unfortunately, you won't be getting Vladdy in his career.
I mean, I think they already knew that before Vladdy went out and said that. I love the killer mentality. I love what he said. It's just I find it great. I find it great that he's competitive like that. And there were a lot of memes circulating around Twitter when Vladdy said, "This is my house," after he hit the walk-off against the Red Sox, and it's just I like the little rivalries, the little tiny rivalries within the AL East. Vladdy against the Yankees, Garrett Cole against the Blue Jays. I like all of it, and it just makes for more exciting baseball. So if you're just a baseball fan in general, you gotta love all of this.
Yeah, it makes baseball exciting. And, people also clown him for the whole movie thing, horror movie. I made that comment in my reaction video, but yeah, that was good for Vladdy, and hopefully he continues to dominate the league. So let's get into the second topic here, which is a bit of a more, I guess, serious one. Obviously, the Houston Astros won the World Series the other day, beating the Phillies in 6 games, which was my prediction if you saw the prediction video. But either way, so obviously Ross Stripling, free agency has started, and Ross Stripling is elected free agency. I'll pop up the screenshot here. So the following Blue Jays have elected free agency, not just Ross Stripling, but it was David Phelps, Ross Stripling, and Jackie Bradley Jr. We'll mainly be focusing on, Ross. So what are your thoughts on that, Peter? Obviously, we expected him to do that. That's kind of the common thing. But what are your initial thoughts on that before I bring up a report that surfaced, which is a bit more scary if you're a Jays fan?
Well, I'm not quite sure what to think about it because you obviously knew that, especially Ross Stripling, he was going to do that after a career season. He showed what he could do in a rotation, in like an actual set role. He showed his value, so of course he was going to try to see what the market is for him. So I don't blame him for doing that. But for his return to the Toronto Blue Jays, I don't know what it means. I mean, uh, I was watching the At the Letters podcast today with Shai Davidi and Ben Nicholson Smith, and they were basically saying how the Blue Jays budget is 200 million going into next season, and they're already at 120 million. If they were to pick up Anthony Bass's $3 million team option for next season, so yeah, they're at $120 million right now with 10 players on their roster. So that's you still got to fill out 15 more spots there, and Ross Stripling at 15 million per. I don't know if the Jays, with their budget, can afford that right now.
Yeah, and I'll even go on I guess another step here and show you this report that kind of reiterates what you're saying there. This was from the Toronto Star, Greg Chisholm, a Blue Jays writer. He says, "I think it's safe to say that Stripling is as good as gone. It seems highly unlikely that the Jays would extend a $19.65 million qualifying offer because if they do, he'll probably accept, and that's over their budget." So exactly what you said. You know, at the Letters, it's obviously a great podcast, and they have insider info. Yeah, it's looking like Ross is gone, which is really unfortunate. We didn't really know whether, it doesn't look like we're gonna do the qualifying offer either, which makes a bit more sense if our budget is 200 million. But yeah, that report came out, so like you said, it's looking like he's as good as gone, and that's it's unfortunate for the Jays, but I have faith that they'll hopefully either trade or sign for another reliever equivalent. But I don't
Yeah.
know, it's a bit of a shock already.
Yeah, well, I mean the 200 million, it's very arbitrary. Like we're not exactly sure if that's their set budget. They haven't come out and said that like specifically, but they've also shown that they're very aggressive in the free agent market in the past couple of seasons, going out and getting Hyun-Jin Ryu in 2019, getting George Springer the following year. So that's something to look out for. They've always shown that they're willing to go out and spend. Just how much are they willing to spend? Because I don't want to see them go dumpster diving in the off season. That's for sure.
I agree with that completely. No more. We're past the dumpster diving phase. Obviously, you can still do your dumpster dive and see if you find gold, but you can't rely on that to build a.
No, you can't.
Can't rely
Not
on.
for a contender.
No, not
Not
for
for
a
a
contender.
contender.
And so we'll see what happens with the Ross Stripling stuff. Or it seems everything's pointing to him going away, which is unfortunate. And if he signs somewhere else, we'll be sure to cover it on here and Dugout Digest as well. Quick plug, but we'll let's move on to the next topic now, which is a record-breaking reliever contract. Speaking of pitching, Edwin Diaz just signing a monstrous deal, which I'll pop up here now. Star closer Edwin Diaz and the Mets are in agreement on a 5-year, $102 million contract pending physical. There's an opt-out and a full no-trade clause, plus a 6-year option. The best closer in baseball stays in New York. This dropped the other day. I don't even know what to think of it. I mean, I do have my opinions. I'll first get yours. What are your thoughts on this? This dropped yesterday. Monstrous contract by the Mets and Jeff Cohen.
It's a lot of money. It's a ton of money to give up for a closer, for a guy that throws one inning at a time, who will probably throw 75 innings in the year, 80 innings in the year. So I'm not sure what to think on that front. But he is the best closer in baseball, as Jeff Passan said in that tweet. So it's tough to say. It's tough to say, but it sets the market for the rest of the relievers as well. Like it shows you what kind of money the other guys are going to command, and kind of scary if you're the Blue Jays, because that's one area that they really need to improve.
It's terrifying if you're the Jays. At the same time, the Jays would not have matched this contract. So for everyone out there saying, why didn't the Jays go for him? This is a record-breaking contract. I would have not felt comfortable dropping that amount of money on a reliever. Don't forget that just a few years ago, he got traded to the Mets, obviously alongside Robbie Cano, and he posted a high 4 ERA. So relievers are super volatile. I don't think Diaz is going to go back to a high 4 ERA, but I don't know. It's a bit scary that the Mets are already spending this much before free agency has even commenced. But I'll digress. Happy for Edwin Diaz. You know, he obviously deserves it. Phenomenal year. Best closer in baseball, undoubtedly. So good for him. And hopefully, you know, it's one less player that we have to speculate about on the Blue Jays front. So it'll be cool to see who we do target. But Edwin Diaz was never really a realistic target anyways.
No, not really. And I mean, the Mets, they've shown that they don't care. Money is just an object for them, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to put a winning product out there on that baseball field. So yeah, good for them. I mean, their owners don't care about the dollar signs. They care about the wins, and Mets are a good team. They're a pretty darn good team. So Edwin Diaz is a big part of that as well. But there are a few options that I want to see the Jays target, especially after this news over here that just dropped. Jeff Passan was first to report it. So the first relief target that I want the Jays to go after is Rafael Montero from the Houston Astros. That's my number one guy. He's 4.64 career ERA, which is not great, but his last season was his best season at the age of 31 years old. So in the prime of his career, throws really hard, 73 strikeouts in 68 innings, 5-2 record, which doesn't really matter for a reliever, but he's got swing and miss stuff. He doesn't really walk many guys and doesn't give up many hits either. And he just won a World Series, so that helps out a ton if you're looking for experience. I don't know if you want to touch on that, Nick, or if you want me to go into my next guy here.
Yeah, I'll just quickly throw out mine, and then I'll let you finish up the video with your last one. I only got one, and I think we all know who it is. Rafael Montero. No, I like that a lot. Experience, just won a World Series. Do you think the Jays will get him? Maybe, but we'll touch on that some more. My guy is Gregory Soto. I still want to trade for him. I don't care what it takes to get him. I just want him, always have. But that's just my little piece on that, and I'll let you finish up here with your last couple.
Yeah, well, I actually got two more guys.
Yep.
So the second one here, it's a pair of lefties, so that'll help us out a lot. The first guy is Matt Strahm on the Boston Red Sox. He's going to be a free agent this offseason, which is oh no, actually he's not. He has one more year of control. So he will be a free agent next offseason, but they could trade for him because the Red Sox, honest, they're not going anywhere,
No.
and they don't need a good high leverage reliever because they're not going to be competing in 2023. So he's a lefty, throws hard, 95 plus, 52 strikeouts in 44 innings, 3.83 ERA, not the best, but he's got some swing and miss stuff, and he does walk a few guys, but it's a guy that the Jays need. They need a swing and miss lefty because Tim Mesa will not cut it come playoff time, and he showed that this year. And the last guy is another lefty. It's Matt Moore, former starter, has had a pretty up and down career. He had a few great years in Tampa Bay as a starter. He went to San Francisco. He struggled there, struggled with the Texas Rangers, and then he's had a couple of other stops here. And back with Texas in 2022, they moved him to the bullpen. They finally said, Matt Moore, you've been injured too many times in your career. We're moving you to the bullpen. And he pitched unbelievable in 74 innings, 1.95 ERA, 83 strikeouts in 74 innings. So I feel like this is a guy that you could get for really cheap. He's 33 years old, and I just think that this would be a perfect addition, a mid-relief guy, take some pressure off Tim Mesa in the left-handed reliever role, and just someone I want to see the Jays target because they do have a tendency to not go after the big names when it comes to relievers. So Matt Strahm, Rafael Montero, and Matt Moore, that's who I want to see.
Yeah, I like those three a lot. He gave some good explanations there. I think I like Matt Moore a lot as well because he's been around forever. He obviously won a good bit with the Rays, and these are the type of relievers I'd like. The ones you just suggested are the ones I want to see them go for. Got just established pieces that won't just be horrible. Because dumpster dives, you obviously have the risk of them being horrible. So let me know in the comments, or let us know in the comments what players and what relievers you guys want to see us target, and we'll have maybe some videos breaking those down. But that's gonna wrap it up for this video. If you did enjoy, make sure you hit the sub button. We're so close to 1,500 already, which is surreal. The support's been unreal. Do you have anything you want to say about that, Peter? It's been unreal.
Yeah, it's been an unbelievable ride, and we're gonna keep making these daily uploads for you. It's just super fun, and wouldn't want to do it with anyone else, Nick.
Yes, sir. You too. See you tomorrow, guys.